Table. My name is Brian Cornett, and I'm the president of Santa Barbara Athletic Roundtable. We are in our 57th year this year, honoring student athletes in this very room. So let's give a round of applause to Harry's Plaza. So in addition to these luncheons, we also host a number of other events throughout the year. We just had our Hall of Fame induction ceremony last week. It was a really great event. We inducted 7 Hall of Famers. Up ahead, we've got our Women in Sports Luncheon in February at the Earl Warren Showgrounds. We also have our March Madness celebration. And then our Evening with the Athletes event at the end of the year to crown our Athletes of the Year in the respective sports. Before we go any further, I just want to thank our presenting sponsor, Mayho Prentice. Let's give them a round of applause. With their help, we're able to honor over 1,000 student athletes every single year and feed all of these delicious quesadillas and enchiladas along the way. So parents, if you want to support our mission of empowering our local student athletes, you can log on to sbart.org or come find me after the luncheon. I also want to thank our local media. We've got Diego Sandoval of Newshawk Sports. Let's give him a round of applause. Mike Plan, KEYT Sports. And I don't see Victor Bryant, but probably be here soon. Santa Barbara Independent. Let's give a round of applause for. Okay, great. So with that, we're gonna have a couple of awards that we're gonna present today. But first, we're gonna get into our Athletes of the Week presented by Newshawk. I'm gonna bring up Diego Sandoval to do that.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. As always, we had another big week last week with a lot of great performances. So we'll jump right in with the girls' honorable mentions. We'll start in flag football. Dos Pueblos' Brooklyn Hendricks had 2 receiving touchdowns in a win over Oxnard and followed it up with 2 more receiving touchdowns in a win over Santa Barbara. In girls' golf, Carpinteria's Jamaica Cook shot 2 over and was the medalist in a win over Santa Barbara, and then was the medalist in their first Citrus Coast League match of the year, where they placed first. In girls cross country, San Marcos's Elsie Tuttle placed second individually with a time of 19:28 at the Ojai Invitational, where San Marcos took first place. And in girls volleyball, Dos Pueblos' Addie Lowe had 19 kills and 11 digs and a loss to Oxnard, and followed that up with 11 kills and 7 digs and a loss to Santa Barbara. Speaking of Santa Barbara High's Jules Horton had 31 assists in a win over Pacifica, and then had 29 assists and 16 digs in that win over Dos Pueblos. And Bishop Diego's Karina Urzua had 48 assists, 10 digs, and 7 kills in a 5-set win over St. Bonaventure. And that brings us to this week's Girls Athlete of the Week, San Marcos Flag Football's Victoria Aldana. Victoria led the Royals to a pair of Big Channel League wins last week. She began by going 21 for 24 for 174 yards and 4 touchdowns. She also had an interception on defense in a 32-0 win over Ventura. And she followed it up by going 15 for 21 for 116 yards through the air, 103 yards on the ground, and 4 total touchdowns in a win over Pacifica. Congratulations, Victoria. Now onto the boys' honorable mentions. We'll start with water polo. San Marcos water polo's Christian Yonker had 5 goals and 3 steals in a win over Santa Barbara. Dos Pueblos water polo's Grant Nelson had 7 goals and 3 assists in a win over Santa Barbara, and then had 23 goals across 5 games at the South Coast tournament. Also, Dos Pueblos' Koa Zertucci had 13 saves in that win over Santa Barbara, and then followed up with 52 total saves across those 5 games at the South Coast tournament. Kate water polo's Liam Mose had 4 goals and 2 assists in a win over Rio Mesa, and then had the same stat line, 4 goals, 2 assists in a win over Oxnard. On the football field, Bishop Diego's Gabe Villa took 18 carries for 105 yards and a touchdown. He added 4 catches for 79 yards and an interception on defense in a 28-14 win over Etiwanda. And Santa Barbara High's Monty Lopez took 9 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. He also had 103 yards through the air and a touchdown in their win over San Marcos. And that brings us this week's Boys Athlete of the Week, his teammate, Santa Barbara Football's Griffin Arnold. You'll hear more about Griffin in a second when we talk about the big game, but he was in control under center to lead the Dons to their 60-0 win over San Marcos. He completed 11 of 16 pass attempts for 233 yards and 5 touchdowns while playing in his first ever big game. Congratulations, Griffin. And then just a quick reminder to all the coaches, if you have an Athlete of the Week nomination, be sure to send them in to sports@newshawk.com, where you send me recaps, post-game articles by Saturday if possible. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Diego. And Griffin, don't get too comfortable over there. We have a little bit more hardware to hand out. So I'm going to bring up Chris Rabe to present our annual Gary Blades Memorial Trophy for the MVP of the big game. So take it away, Chris.
First, I have some thank yous to give out because Gary was the best man at my wedding, a true friend. And I miss him every day. And to have his name continue in the community, in the sports, which he so loved, really is an honor for me and for Gary. So I want to thank the Athletic Roundtable, Brian, for having me give this award, and then also all the media that keeps his name alive. They put pictures in their articles. They put them, mentioned them on TV. So thank you for Diego for Newshawk, and then Ryan Cruz also did an article and put a picture in for the Independent. Want to Mike Clam for Friday Football Focus, and John Martney doing it on radio. These people have been voting, the media votes for it, 3 San Marcos, 3 Santa Barbara. I also want to thank both of the athletic departments, and Aaron, thank you for continuing the tradition. I know sometimes it's hard to give an award to a Don, but San Marcos people, they have won it more than once, believe me. And now to the game, it's always a giant event, and I mean, it's hard to find a bigger crowd at a sporting event in Santa Barbara during the year. And this game, fit that bill. The San Marcos side was full, Santa Barbara side was full. The bands were going, lots of cheerleaders. I mean, it was a good atmosphere. The game didn't turn out to be a great game, unless you were a Don. And, I enjoyed it. But to watch the to watch Griffin continue to grow. I was privileged to watch him every game last year on the JV team. My grandson played, helped block for him on the JV team. And so I went to every game and I saw him grow and get better and better. And the Don JV team went undefeated in league, which was fantastic. And you have a freshman quarterback leading them to the league championship for JV. And then this year, watching him grow again and going into the San Marcos game, it's your first big game. He's a sophomore, and that could be tough for anybody. And he handled it quite well, and it was great to see that growth too. And so, the voting went. Some people voted for the defense. They wanted to just give it to the defense. They did outscore San Marcos 7-0. Then we had Nate Meiser had a vote. I think he had 2 touchdown receptions. But when you throw 5 touchdowns passes in the big game, I think there's one other with 5 and one with 6 on the trophy. That's the nice thing about having the perpetual. You can look back and see some of the history of the game if you're ever interested. And but this is the trophy that goes to Griffin, and I'm going to just read what it says, and I'm going to invite him up and hand it to him because he is well deserved of this trophy. The Gary Blades Memorial Big Game Valuable Player Award. Griffin Arnold, Santa Barbara, 2025, at passing 11 for 16 for 233 yards and 5 touchdowns. The final score is also on here, Don 60, Royal 0. So Griffin, come on up.
All right, thank you, Chris. Another congratulations to Griffin. We're going to get into our coaches reports sponsored by Carp Physio. Just a quick reminder that we have a few to get through and we want to get everybody back to class on time. So first we're going to go Coach Meropoulos, Santa Barbara City College football, followed by San Marcos water polo, Coach Pira.
Thank you very much, the Roundtable, for having us. Unfortunately, I always like to bring some of our student athletes, but the two guys I wanted to bring had exams today. So I apologize for that. But in their defense, they were two guys that, and one of them, Nelson Smith, is just a phenomenal linebacker. But whoever said, was it you, Walt, Nate, whoever said adversity makes you stronger, man, I hope you are correct, because if it makes you stronger, I could bench about 550 right now in 10 reps.
You look like you can.
Oh, well, I can't. But anyways, the Vacs had a rough one Saturday night. Long Beach City came in and they were big and fast and very efficient on offense. And we're very young and we got banged up. But I tell you what, we played to the last second. We scored with about 5 seconds left and our guys were fired up. And when you get beat a lot to a little, you have to find things to be positive about. And they found it. They scored. And I called timeout with about 6 seconds to go. And Long Beach City couldn't believe it. What are you doing? And I wanted to do something to him, but I said, I got a little more class than that. So I just focused on my guys. And I said, hey, guys, let's put it in. Let's end with something positive. And they said, let's go, coach. 6 down. That was the play. And they scored. And, I was proud of them for that. And when you lose a lot to a little, you got to find some positives, and we found some positives. So we ended the game with an on and up. And when we're going to be back there today, I'm back here today, 57 years of this. Man, I was 8 years old when this thing started. Add that up. Don't add it up, please. But, we're going to be back, and we're going to keep fighting. And we got Ventura this week, Saturday night, 6 at Ventura, and we'll be ready and get after it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Coach. Next, we're going to bring up San Marcos water polo, Coach Pira, followed by San Marcos football and volleyball, Aaron Solis.
Thank you, Roundtable and sponsors, for having us here today. I'd like to introduce two of my athletes here. They're seniors. Next to me, I have Jake Mogid. Jake is a 4-year varsity member in our program, impactful on both sides of the pool, offense and defense. He's a critical part of our team, and we're very fortunate to have someone of such speed, integrity, and intensity as Jake. So thank you, Jake. To his right, we have Jack Kramer. Big fella. He has a tremendous presence in the water, commanding presence in the water. Every team we go up against is either double teaming him or triple teaming him. So doesn't get the ball as much as he would like, but when we do, he does really amazing things with it. So we're very lucky to have Jack Kramer on our team. Two great senior leaders in our program. Again, very lucky to have these two on our team. Just a quick update for our season. We're about halfway through. We just came back from the South Coast tournament. Tremendous, an amazing event, super competitive. Some of the top teams in the nations, some of the top teams in the state. We played one of the top teams in San Diego. Unfortunately, fell short to them, and then had some competitive games and close games throughout. We have a bye this week, and then looking ahead, we are hosting Buena, so we're excited for that opportunity to play them. Thank you, guys.
All right, next we've got AD Aaron Solis for San Marcos football and girls volleyball, followed by Coach Sheffy, Westmont volleyball.
I was 1 for 3 in my walk-on coaches being able to get out of work and being here. So thank you for that. So, but I'm going to cover the other two who are at work. First off, let's go to football, and I'd like to introduce two of our outstanding scholar athletes over here. First off, senior Liam Milligan. He's a wide receiver and free safety. Last year, unfortunately, he missed the whole season with the torn ACL and basically had to get his whole knee reconstructed. He's worked extremely hard to get back to the season. And those of you who've had those type of injuries, you know, you can work your way back and then you got to get it up to game speed. And that's what he's starting to do right now. He's starting to get receptions and a few catches on Friday. And he's going to be key as he continues to grow and improve to be a pivotal role in the second half of the season, and that's Liam Milligan. Next up, senior Logan Patterson-DeKine. He's playing football for the first time this year. He's an all-channel cross-country runner and all-league member of the track team, and so I know Maryland just loves to see him out here on the football field. He's the starting quarterback and wide receiver. He's also our top kick returner. He improves every day. He's learning so fast. He has such a great attitude. He did suffer a fractured hand on Friday, but he just got back from the doctor and let me know in 2 weeks he will be cleared to be able to play. So we'll be glad to have him back. And we're going to need both these gentlemen. We know Friday was a disappointment, but I keep reminding myself that this is educational-based athletics. And we're going to learn from this. And sometimes from these type of events, you're going to learn more than you ever can realize. And so we're going to learn on it. We're not going to dwell on it, and we're going to move forward because we do need to get ready for league in 2 weeks. We face Fillmore after having the bye week this week. We travel to Fillmore. They are a greatly improved football team. They are 5-0 right now and playing really good football. But like I said, we're going to learn. We're not going to dwell. We're going to continue to improve, and we're going to get ready for Fillmore. And that's football. Moving on to girls volleyball. First off, I'd like to introduce, and I was going to go through like who's a junior. Like I forgot, they're all seniors. So first of all, senior Avery Leck. She's one of our talented setters and a dedicated multi-sport athlete. You're pretty good in track too, right? Okay, I thought so. This season, she plays a crucial role in orchestrating our offense. With her infectious energy, she ensures that all her hitters are actively engaged. Avery's known for her hard work and determination, making her one of the most committed players on the team, and that's Avery. Next up, senior Alina Staff. Alina is our exceptional libero. Libero? Is that how you pronounce it? Okay, we've had this huge debate for 2 years now, so just figuring out how you pronounce it. She's a dynamic defender, known for her ability to make plays all over the court. As a vocal leader, she guides her teammates and is among our top servers. She also takes charge of the backcourt with her impressive defense and serve receiving skills, and that's Alina. And then next up, Kelsey Helton. Kelsey plays the middle, and her impact is huge there. We really need her there in the middle. She is one of the most coachable athletes on the team, always willing to take on new challenges. With her strong work ethic, Kelsey is determined to secure kills and stands out as one of our strongest blockers, and that's Kelsey. We are currently in first place right now in the Channel League. We're just starting the second round of Channel League this week. We are at Oxnard on Tuesday. We are home against Buena on Thursday. And then this Friday and Saturday, I know Coach Hempy back there has been prepping and getting ready for the Santa Barbara TOC, always one of the better volleyball tournaments in town. We're going to help host a few games at San Marcos, which, thanks, Coach. That puts a lot of pressure on me to make sure the gym's ready and the custodial. But hey, we've done it before. We'll do it again, and we'll keep trucking along with girls volleyball and see how well we can do this year. Thank you so much.
All right, next we got Westmont volleyball, Coach Sheffy, followed by Carpinteria football, Coach Latham. And just a quick note, athletes, we're on YouTube live right now, so if you want to wave to mom and dad, you just need to be standing over to your right of the flag right here.
Hi, everyone. I'm the assistant coach up at Westmont for the women's volleyball program. and I just thought I'd give you a little quick summary of our season so far. Last week, we started off our first home match against Concordia, who was rated in the preseason ratings as third in our Pac-West Conference, and we were able to beat them in 4. Showed a lot of grittiness and heart on our girls' part. Friday, we drove down to Biola, played a 5-set match and lost a heartbreaker in the 5th set. And then Saturday, girls had to have a quick turnaround, rebounded really well, and we swept Menlo at home. This Wednesday, we play Chaminade. They're from Oahu. They are the reigning Pac-West champions. So we have another opportunity this week at home to show our grittiness and show that we can play with the toughest of the teams of our conference. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach. Next, we are going to go to Carpinteria football, Coach Latham, followed by DP flag, Coach Hendricks.
Thanks again for the roundtable for hosting these great events. I can identify with Coach Moropoulos that adversity is tough, but it will make us stronger. We're resilient, and we're going to keep going. We had another tough week. We faced an undefeated Fillmore team, and they took it to us 42-6. So that was a little bit rough. Interesting, the second week in a row that we didn't get our punt return team on the field. Last week, San Gabriel went forward on 4th down every time, and I think they made every 4th down they tried. This week, Fillmore either scored or we got a turnover. So that was positive. We had 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, and forced them into a missed field goal. But we still need to tackle better, and we're going to keep working on that. We'll get there. Offensively, our consistency is not quite there. Our quarterback, Isaac Neary's been a little banged up, has a bad ankle. He's not quite 100%. We're hoping to get him up to full speed as we go forward. This week, we don't face an undefeated team. We face Santa Paula. They only have 1 loss. So it's going to be another tough week, but we're looking forward to the challenge. It's going to make us better for our league contest. Our team is, they're not getting down on themselves. They're going to keep fighting, and we're proud of that. I brought along on the outside a senior, Richie Renteria. Richie's never played football before, but he does have good bloodlines. His grandpa was on our 1979 CIF finalist team, and he's done a great job. He's an excellent athlete, and he's been our starting corner all the way through. Good tackler, and he scored our only points last week with a pick 6 for 22 yards. So he's been doing a great job, and he's just going to get better and better as we go through the season. Next to him is Caleb Kelly. Caleb's a junior. He was our leading tackler this week as a defensive end, and also graded out highest in blocking percentage as our center on the offensive line. He's made some big improvements. He started both ways for us last year as a sophomore, but this year he's gotten a lot stronger. He's gotten bigger, and his attitude is getting better and better. He's been a very hard worker, but the best thing I like about him, he's taken time during practice to help inexperienced players, teach him the ins and outs of the game, and he's starting to be. That's really gratifying to see, and I think Caleb's going to continue to have a great. Thanks again.
Okay, next up we've got Dos Pueblos flag football, Coach Hendricks, followed by Dos Pueblos football, Coach Pateras.
All right, thank you, Roundtable, our sponsors and media, for having us. Coming off of a pretty good week last week, where we went 2-0. I brought 2 players of the day that had a big part of that. I'll start on the outside with senior Hannah Kaminsky. So HK, it's easier to say HK than Kaminsky every time. I don't want to mess it up, so call her HK. But HK plays center for us. She's also an outside linebacker. 2 very tough positions. Center positions changed quite a bit this year with a 1-yard rush. Much bigger emphasis on blocking, and Hannah's done a great job with that. She's also a very sure-handed tackler when she's playing linebacker for us. So she fills in great there. Had a really nice game for us on Thursday at home against Santa Barbara. Caught a really nice touchdown pass for second in the season. It was a tight window in the red zone, right in between two defenders. She ran a great route. Again, catching a ball with two people kind of squeezing in on you to be able to catch that and stay sure-footed with it and get the end zone was a really big catch and really impressive to see. She's very hard to tackle when she gets in the open field as well. She runs hard. I don't know how else to describe it, but she's not fun to try to tackle. And she's, again, had another big game for us on Thursday. So it's a great job by UHK. Next to her is senior Sterling Stretfield. Sterling's a captain. It's her second year as a captain. She was voted as a captain last year as a junior, which really tells you a lot about her just in that alone, that she was kind of voted in with a team full of seniors last year. And again, her leadership is something that as a 3-year starter, it shows every day on the field. Sterling starts for us at safety. She's also starting running back. Safety this year was a new position for her. She had kind of worked in at it the last couple of years, but had a senior ahead of her. And man, she's really taken it on. She has 6 interceptions this year. She's second on the team in pass deflections. There's not a lot of balls that go that way without her at least being on the play, whether it's pulling the flag or knocking it down, or again, with 6 interceptions, it's not easy to try to throw her direction. She went from being one of our leading rushers to not rushing as much this year, mostly because, again, like the center position, that running back position has really changed to more of a blocking position and trying to find ways to get checkdowns and get her the ball has been tough. But again, she's taken that on like a captain and leader should and done a great job for us there as well. So another big week this week. We start second round of league. We have Rio on the road tomorrow and Pacifica at home on Thursday. Best of luck to all of you the rest of the week.
All right, next up, we got Coach Pateras, Dos Pueblos football, followed by Santa Barbara High School volleyball, Coach Hempy.
Thank you, everyone. We traveled to Ventura last week for our first road game and played a very good football team. We, like many of you have said today, faced some adversity, more self-inflicted than things happening to us. So perfect timing of the year. We get our bye week this week. And so our biggest challenge is going to be ourselves and our habits. And that's going to be the focus so that we can put ourselves in the best position going into league next week. With me, most important in what we do is work with these young athletes. And so the two I brought, I'm going to start closest to me, senior Eder Soriano. Eder is one of our team captains, was voted by his teammates. He is our center. He commands the offensive line. And the biggest thing I'll say about his performance is he faced some injuries last year, had a plan of recovery this offseason, and came back bigger, faster, stronger, with a better intent in terms of his habits daily. And the biggest thing that came out of Friday night was as we leave our locker rooms, we pride ourselves in cleaning up after ourselves and making sure that, you know, if custodians are coming in after us, they're just kind of cleaning up whatever might be residual, but really the heavy lifting's been done. And Eder called out his teammates Friday for how many of them left that facility. And he stayed with a couple of other younger players and cleaned up. And then we addressed it to the team. And I didn't address it. It was Eder who addressed it. And so that leadership of accountability amongst teammates is super important because it shows that everything matters and the impact we have on taking care of the things we have. And so just really proud of Eder and the maturity and the growth he's showed. And he's a 3-year letterman. So he's teaching a lot of the younger guys how to behave and how to do things. And so kind of paying it forward. So really proud of Eder and thankful that we have him on our roster. To his right is senior quarterback Drew Schultz. And when you play a tough position, there's a lot of criticism of how you play and what you do on the field. And Drew has been consistently working. As splitting reps as a senior, you probably get discouraged. Most people kind of do. But Drew hasn't done that. He said his exact words were, I just want to help the team in any way I can. And so the week after he wasn't starting, he kicked 7 extra points and then got in later in the game, ended up commanded the offense really well, and then scored a rushing touchdown. And by all of his habits and all of the things he's doing behind the scenes that maybe aren't so visible to everybody, he's leading us in points. He's leading us in rushing. And when he got his opportunities on Friday, the offense took off and started to move down the field. He was 70% completion percentage. So he was doing all of the little things that we needed. And then he ended up getting another rushing touchdown towards the end of the game. So I want to commend Drew on his mentality, his work ethic, the way that he's preparing. And a lot of what he is doing is going to help Grady and the younger quarterbacks that are working alongside him or behind him, because they're going to see a guy who just shows up every day and is trying to be the same person and be the best version of himself. So very thankful for Drew and love his progression. And we're really excited about our bye week. We get a chance to reflect and focus on ourselves. And these two guys are going to be a big part of demanding that from their teammates. So thank you for having us, and good luck for everyone the rest of you.
Thanks, Coach. Next, we're going to go to Santa Barbara High School volleyball, Coach Hempy, followed by Santa Barbara High School football, Coach Mendoza.
All right, hi everyone, Kristen Empey, Santa Barbara Girls Volleyball. Thanks for having us. Nice to be back again. We're coming off, I'll talk about the team first and then talk about my athletes that I brought. We're coming off a pretty good week for us. We had two 3-0 wins, so that was really nice to kind of finish out the first round of league that way. And yeah, heading into the second round of league next week, 5-2, it's like a good place for us to be. We have a big week happening this week with the TOC that was mentioned, but we also go down to Buena tomorrow and then down to Ventura on Thursday. And we really want to take it to Ventura. It's a goal for us, so we'll hopefully be able to accomplish that. And then we are hosting TOC. Thank you to Solis. Thank you to San Marcos again for being a second site for us. We've got 16 teams, regular bracket. The first games start at 11 on Friday. All day Friday, and then the finals, I believe, are 5:45 on Saturday. The schedule and the bracket should be out, but some NorCal teams, some Central Coast teams, some strong Southern California teams coming up. A lot of local programs will be there, San Marcos, DP, Bishop, and then also Ventura. So it should be really fun. I'm excited for that. That's what's coming up in terms of the week, but I'll talk about these girls that I brought here and our team specifically. So first, right next to me is sophomore Jacqueline Durling. And Jacqueline's been one of our middles. She's been out a little bit, battling an injury, but we're hoping to get her back in soon. I brought two sophomores, so I've mentioned a couple times that we're young, but I wanted to bring these girls it's their first round table actually, and just give them the recognition of the hard work that they're putting in, even being young on varsity. And Jacqueline's been doing a really great job. One thing I really appreciate about her is her determined attitude. She's competitive. She wants to win. She wants to get better, and she's super focused, especially, when you have a lot of youth on a team. It can be sometimes, you're trying to level the maturity sometimes, but these girls have kind of come in and showed a lot of maturity for their age. And Jacqueline especially has been working really hard at the middle position on her connection, getting more kills, getting more blocks. And once we get that injury tuned up, we'll hopefully get to see that expand even more. And then next to her is Grace Costner. And Grace has been doing a lot of work in the back row for us, coming in as DS. She's getting a lot of reps, and just one of our steadiest, kind of most trustworthy players back there. Every time she goes back to serve, I know she's going to hit the spot I'm giving her. Sometimes it's like 50-50 whether the kid will actually hit the spot. But Grace is super reliable. She knows where she needs to be on defense. She does her job. And again, focused, competitive, willing to listen, willing to work hard. So just kind of wanted to honor them for the hard work that they're putting in, and excited to see how they continue to develop for the rest of the season and also just the future of our program. So yeah, hopefully see some people out at TOC on Friday and Saturday, but thanks for having us.
All right, next up we got Santa Barbara High School football, Coach Mendoza, followed by Santa Barbara High School flag football, Coach Binyach.
Okay, thanks for hosting, like always. Really appreciate, on behalf of the football team, the Athlete of the Week award, and appreciate you honoring us with the Gary Blades MVP award. As well said, and thank you for that. Great outcome on Friday. Obviously, already talked about. Really cool to have about 3,200 fans in the stadium. sold out crowd, a lot of excitement, a lot of proud alumni, and it was a really fun game. And it's one of those games, as everybody knows here, who plays in rival games. You got people that come back for one game a year to watch it, and that's really that San Marcos SB game. I reminded the boys all week, we usually always play for ourselves. So one game I asked them to really play for the alumni and everybody else. So it was a hard fought game on our behalf. The boys executed extremely well. Came out firing on all cylinders, and was really proud of their effort. I said it in the paper, as continue to say it. This group, their efforts kind of through the roof all the time. We might have execution issues, discipline issues once in a while with flags, but the effort is there, and it's fun to watch. So we already heard a little bit about Griff. I want to give Griff another round of applause, sophomore quarterback. So stats were talked about, and those things are great. But what I really appreciate about Griff is his hunger to kind of learn and get better. Griff is always trying to look at mistakes that he makes. We watch film multiple times a week with the entire team, and it's tough to watch yourself make mistakes in practice because we film practice. And I appreciate his accountability. He's always taking ownership. I'm not really into excuse making by my players, and he's never doing that. Accountability is what he does. And even when it's not his fault, if you're a good quarterback, then you kind of wear it on the chin for your running backs and your linemen and all that stuff. So appreciate that. I coached him when he was a young guy in other sports and youth sports, and he's kind of just remained the same guy. He's hard on his teammates. He's not afraid to call guys out, and he's, again, hungry to get better. So we appreciate that from Griff, and not to mention over a 4.0 student. Next gentleman I brought to him, right next to him, put your hand up, James Folletti, senior receiver. And the next guy I brought as well is senior receiver, James King. I announced them together because I want to mention a few things. So these guys are now playing all the time, starting games, scoring touchdowns, catching passes, and doing really great things. They're over 4.0 students as well. But what I want to mention about them is this day and age where you kind of don't get what you want, you transfer schools or you whine and complain on social media. And that's the age we kind of live in. These guys didn't play much at all as juniors. They were there every day. They never missed practice. They were never late. They played scout team and went against the starters every day. And that's really hard to do, as the football coaches in here know. But I just commend them for sticking it out. And now they're reaping the benefits and playing. And junior year is really hard, as you guys know, on a varsity sport. You're playing with older people, and I can't say enough about these guys. They're the example I use all the time for our underclassmen that are frustrated or complaining maybe about playing time, because I never heard a word from them last year. All I saw was hard work and great effort, and it just shows. So I can't say enough about these two gentlemen. It's going to pay off in life. I tell my players all the time, there might be 3 college football players standing in front of me, maybe, but we're trying to get ready for college and trade school, being a parent, and being a good husband one day. So anyways, that's what we're about on our team. We got our hands full next 5 weeks. We're going to have a bye week. It sounds like many of these coaches here. We play in the Conejo Coast League. Rio Mesa, Calabasas, Westlake, Thousand Oaks, Newberry Park. We opened up with Newberry, CIF champs last year. They lost in the state championship. Really excited for that challenge, and I know the boys are ready too. So we'll rest up this week. They had a good practice this morning, and they'll enjoy their afternoon off, and then we'll be back at it tomorrow. So thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
All right, next I'm going to bring up Coach Maniach, Santa Barbara High School flag football, followed by San Marcos High School flag football, Coach Blas.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me again. Is this thing on? Never. I wasn't sure. Always my teacher voice. Thank you for having us again. Last week was a 0-2 week. We lost to Pacifica at home 8-7. And then we went on the road and lost to DP 43-6, but I don't mind sharing the score. I don't think there's such thing maybe as a good loss, but there's definitely a lot of good you can get from a loss. And I feel like our team found some things in that loss to DP compared to the loss to Pacifica by 1. I think the we got more from that loss to DP. They're obviously a really talented team. We kind of hung with them in the first half. I think we went at halftime feeling really, really good and really proud of how we played. And we hope to take some of that momentum with us to the second half of league, where we host Buena tomorrow, and then we have Ventura on Thursday. So these two athletes I brought with me are a reason that we're feeling pretty good where we are. They may not fill the stat sheet. With me right now, I have Alyssa Ortiz on the end here. So to echo what Coach Hendricks mentioned, right? Center position. She's our starting center. Center is a lot tougher of position this year. When you have a 1-yard rush as opposed to a 7-yard rush, you really have to be on your toes, and you might not see the ball as much, but you're really key part of the offense with a quick snap. Has to be a quick snap, or that rusher's right on top of you. Then you have to either stand and block, or maybe run a quick route, and hopefully the QB can find you in that short window you might be open. So this is really, really taken to the position well compared to last year. You know, she might have seen the ball a little bit more, but she's hanging in there. She's also keeps me on my toes. She's one when, you know, maybe things aren't going as well, she can get a good laugh out of me and keep things light. So I think that's pretty key when maybe your season's not going as well as you were hoping. So thanks, Alyssa. I also brought Alexander Arnold with me. Probably the better of the two Arnolds that's here today, but it's okay. No, Alexandra, also tough position. She's also playing a lot of running back this year, been fighting through a lot of injury, but she doesn't make excuses. She'll just go get taped, wrapped, whatever she needs, and she's out there just right at my side, like put me in. So it's great having an athlete like that that just always wants to be in. We had to plug her in on defense last week, and she did great. So yeah, real proud of what she's brought to the field this year, and look forward to the second half of the season, seeing what these girls can do and the rest of our team. I think we have some nice small goals that we're going to try to achieve. And again, these two girls are also just extremely good students, so all north of 4.0, and just don't want to not mention that because it's really amazing. So good job, girls.
All right, next up we have Coach Boz, San Marcos flag football, followed by San Marcos cross country, Coach Hankton.
All right, good afternoon. Thanks for having us. I think I'm the only person that's older than the Santa Barbara Roundtable. Scoot over. You heard about Victoria. Had an amazing week, is having another amazing year, and it's kind of like just when you think that she might be peaking, she just keeps growing as an athlete, as a quarterback, a great student. It's finally figured out what it means to be a dual threat quarterback. You know, after playing FNL for a couple years, and then last year the quarterback could only run once every 4 downs or so. She had her first 100-yard rushing game this week, which is pretty cool. And I think we'll see that more and more as the season goes on. Next to her, we have senior Harlan Griffin. Harlan's a linebacker and our starting blocking back, and really is responsible for a lot of the success that Victoria's having this year. She does a great job. It's kind of, you know, as an offensive lineman, it's kind of like a thankless role, and you just got to get in there, and it's the most physical part of the game as well. We had a really physical game this past Thursday against Pacifica, and she's just kind of embracing that, and she doesn't shy down to anybody, and takes a lot of pride in that. She's also our punter and our goalie on our soccer team, so she is. She really likes the punting part of the game and takes a lot of pride in that as well. And she's pinned several punts inside of the 10 this year. We got to go back and add those up because it's been really impressive to watch, and she does a great job with that. Next to her, we have another senior, Janelle Capuno. Janelle is a receiver and then a rusher, I guess we call them. You know, this year is we have these kind of like defensive lineman type folks, and you know, when you think of a defensive lineman, you don't picture people like
Janelle, but she is incredible. Great burst off the line of scrimmage, and has 11 sacks, I believe, this year. And also on offense, she has 6 touchdowns at least. Also one of our top tacklers, flag pullers this year. We don't track quarterback hurries, but if we did, it would be like, well, how many plays have we played? That would be the number, because it's like every play, pretty much he's hurrying the quarterback. And if you watched any flag football games this year, the quarterback has hurried pretty much every play, because it's a crazy experience trying to play quarterback in high school flag football right now. So very proud of these 3 and excited about our week ahead. A little nervous about tomorrow. We have Oxnard coming in, and they just keep getting better and better as the year goes on. They gave DP a tough game. They gave Ventura a pretty solid effort. So they're much improving and starting to figure things out on their end. And so it's going to be a battle tomorrow night against Oxnard. And then on Thursday, we have Buena on the road. So we're currently 14-3, I believe. But we just need to be 1-0 tomorrow. So thanks for having us, and we're excited.
All right, next up we have Coach Hankton, San Marcos cross country, followed by Dos Pueblos volleyball, Coach O'Carroll.
I don't need this. Okay. Thanks for having us today. We've had a good weekend. We were at the Ojai Invite. Our girls varsity took first place. We've had 3 meets, and our girls have won all 3, which has been really fantastic. Our girls race ended like actually a track meet where 3 girls ran across the line at the same exact time. Unfortunately, we were not first, even though we had the same time. We went 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 were our top scorers. So that was pretty exciting for our girls team. Our boys team did not win, but we did pretty well. But there was about 300 people in each of those races. So it was a pretty fun time down in Ojai. That is also where our first league meet is. So we kind of go there for our preview. I brought with me 4 athletes. I'll start with the girls. On my far right is Autumn Richardson. Autumn's a junior. She was one of the 3 that crossed the line about the same exact time. So she got 3rd, barely. She's been continuing to get better and better. She's an amazing runner. She is fighting for that number 1 spot on our team. And I think one day she's going to surprise everyone and grab it. But no, she's been amazing. And this year, I think our girls team runs together a lot. And so the pack of girls is pretty intimidating when you kind of see them running on the course, because you see this pack of red and blue coming around, and she's one of the leaders of that group. So we look for good things for her coming up the next week. Next to her is Sophie Hernandez. Sophie also is part of that group, a senior. So sadly, we'll lose Sophie. Sophie has been also one of our best girls this year and last year. She's probably the most talented naturally, all of our runners. She can just kind of go out and win in track and field and in cross country. So she's very impressive to watch. She's just kind of getting back into her groove through the season. So I think as we go on the next few weeks, she's going to start getting better and better as we progress. But we're excited for the girls to keep going throughout the season. Next week, we actually go on to Goose Chase, which is up in Santa Maria. So that'll be also really fun. Next to me, I have my 2 sophomore varsity runners. Next to me, I have Audric Helberg, right? Audric, he ran a varsity race. He was 9th overall. He was the best sophomore of the entire race out of 300 guys. Really impressive day for Audric. I think last year he ran probably 3 minutes slower. And so he came around the last 100 meters. I was like, wow, look at this guy. He is really coming along. So super fun to see him growing, getting better and better. And so he's probably made my number 2 right now on our varsity squad. So our team is mostly sophomores. So we're growing and learning on our varsity team. Next to Audric is Cesar. Cesar, I never actually thought Cesar would join cross country. Last year in track, he's like, I'm going to try to run the mile. And we're like, all right. And then he joins cross country. And I mean, if you're talking about someone that's determined, dedicated, hardworking, I mean, this is your guy right here. I mean, I am like, every day as coaches and I are just like, this guy is all we want, is someone like Cesar. Both of these guys, pretty quiet guys, don't really stand out much. We're like in the crowd necessarily, don't loud, but they work so hard. And so I'm super impressed with them. Our group, like I said, mostly sophomores. So they have a lot of growth to do throughout the year. And so right now we're 3 meets in. We still have so many to go as our season's just starting, unlike most sports where you're like halfway through. So we have like a meet up in Santa Maria, and then we have our first league meet in Ojai in a couple weeks. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Coach. Next, we're going to go Dos Pueblos volleyball, Coach O'Carroll, and then we're going to finish up with Santa Barbara High School water polo, Coach Walsh.
Hi, everyone. Megan O'Carroll with Dos Pueblos girls volleyball. I'm going to start with my athletes first, and I'll give our report. Closest to me is senior Eleni Becker. We only have 5 seniors on our squad of 16. We have a lot of young kids, and as I shared last time we were here, we have a really incredible group of senior leaders. We've got a lot of young kids, and so we need a lot of like mama hens out there keeping everyone in line. And Eleni has been incredible for us in that aspect, being a great leader, showing everyone what it's like to be a varsity player, what it means, what the expectations are. She's just a kid with incredibly high integrity, hard worker, in a world of being a teacher and a coach where all you're doing is worrying about kids. I never have to worry about Eleni, and that's just such a gift from her because she's always doing what she is supposed to be doing and more. So thank you, Eleni. And then next to her is junior Sammy Anderson. Sammy's new to varsity this year, and also is our starting setter, which is a really big role to play in your first year on varsity. It is our quarterback of our team, and so it's been a big learning curve for her to come in and understand the speed of the varsity game and understand our plays and expectations, and it's very different from the JV level. And Sammy's done a great job. She's hardworking. She gets into the gym really early, or as early as she can from 3rd period, and is always getting extra reps before and after, always asking for feedback, and does her best to implement it. So very, very proud of Sammy's growth this season. And as you guys have heard from the other girls volleyball coaches here, we just ended the first half of Channel League, entering into 2nd round this week. We're 2-5 right now, which is not where we would like to be. But I do want to highlight that we've had so much growth this season, and it's unfortunate that growth does not translate to wins in that column. And I feel like I always have to like qualify people like, how'd you do? And I'm like, oh, we lost, but we played some of our best volleyball, and we just continue to improve every single week. And I'm really, really proud of the grit and just the consistency that the girls are exhibiting on a daily basis, even when it's not translating to wins. This week, we've got a lot of volleyball. We host Rio Mesa tomorrow. We host Pacifica on Thursday. And then we're playing at the TOC Friday, Saturday. So we're really excited for some opportunities to continue to grow. So thank you.
All right. Next, we're going to get a report from Santa Barbara High School water polo, Coach Walsh. And then we also have Dos Pueblos water polo, Coach Chris.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. I wasn't able to bring any athletes. We're going to be traveling this weekend down to Orange County. So we kept them in class today. So we can stay focused there. We're currently still, our starting goalkeeper is still out for the year so far. We're waiting. Hopefully he can still come back. Our leading scorer got a concussion, so he's been out for last week. And so we're hoping to have him back soon. So, but with all those misfortunes comes more opportunity for other people. So now we have some people who weren't playing as much or had a smaller role are now diving into bigger roles and getting better and improving and taking advantage of the misfortune we're having has created some opportunities for other people. So we're trying to stay focused on that. We were down to 8 players this last weekend or last week, and we played San Marcos in DP this week. You never want to go in. They have like 2 to 3 times the amount of kids that we do, and they can just go in and out. 6 guys in, 6 guys out, and our guys are just looking on. Man, coach, can I get a break? And I'm like, I can't get in for you. And you got to stay. Halftime will be here soon enough. Just hang in there. And but we're doing the best we can. Saddleback tournament will give us an opportunity to play some more teams that are more at our level, not quite where those teams are at right now. So I think that might be it. So thanks for having us.
All right, and now we're going to bring up Coach Chris Dos Pueblos. Water polo snuck in after the she was out, so hopefully you guys got something to eat.
Parking was a little rough. I'm Coach Chris. I'm the assistant coach over at Dos Pueblos. Last week, just for a recap, last week we played Santa Barbara, and then we also went down to the South Coast Invitational Tournament. We had a pretty good win at home against Santa Barbara. And then we went down. We played a tough team from up north, lost 12-6. Then we won against Los Al by 5. Had a tough game against Downey, lost to them by 1. Then I believe we beat 14-20. Yeah, and then we ended off with a pretty emphatic win, 20-14. So pretty high scoring affair here. This week we're going down to the Don Lugo tournament. Should be exciting. We've done pretty well historically there, and we're a pretty strong team this year. So hopefully we can get away with some good wins down there as well. Today I brought with me senior Ben Fuhrer. Ben is our captain of the team, and since he was a freshman, he's just been nothing but, from a coach's perspective, he's just been consistent. He's been reliable. He's been hardworking, super mature and respectful. And then to his teammates, he's just kind. He's friendly. He's really good at, motivating our team to just be better in and out of the water. So he's just a perfect example of what we would like to have out of our players from Dos Pueblos Water Polo. And thank you for having us.
Okay, so we are going to finish up here with our cookie raffle. This is in honor of our late and former friend and former board member, Mike Warren. So we're going to go through